Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Ryan Cox and Charles Nix here at We're using this headquarters position as a headquarters. This is where we're going to get into our techniques for passing the guard. So a lot of times when we go to our headquarters position, our opponent's really effective. You know, once we get this pressure down, they bring this knee shield in. And they're using this to keep the distance so that we can't control the shoulders the way that we want to. Because when I'm in my headquarters, I don't want Charles to be able to shrimp, you know, freely. I don't want him to be able to get that space. So when this knee shield comes in, I'm gonna keep my grips that I have in this headquarters position. So I got this pants grip down here. I got this collar grip from here. And now when Charles tries to push me out with that knee, I'm just gonna kind of go with it and kind of step backwards with my feet. And now from here, I'm gonna pressure on top of Charles's shin and swivel my foot so that I have both feet inside of his guard. I'm gonna step my opposite foot up into the back of his thigh and keep my elbow pinched with this collar grip so that I create a wall on this side of my body. Okay, from here, I want to pull Charles' leg up onto my thigh, step up a little bit, and then straighten my arm against that so that I'm putting his leg on a shelf here. And I'm using my knee and this leg that's on the shelf and this collar grip. I'm using all this to really pin Charles' hips to the mat. Okay, and this is getting me in a position where I feel really solid. I have a good, nice, wide athletic base and have myself locked in on Charles with my grips. Okay, so sticking with the same concept, we're getting to this 2 feet inside the guard position. We're just gonna take a look from a different angle so that you can kind of see my footwork getting into this position. Turn. All right, so from here, right, we're in our headquarters position. I'm kind of in this knee cut position where I'm putting pressure down on Charles' thigh. I have my grips, one on the pants and my other on the lapel. I'm making myself small here. I'm trying to prevent that knee shield. But Charles brings his knee shield over my shoulder and he's starting to push me back. So from here, I don't fight against that force, especially because Charles is a much larger man than me. So I'm gonna just go with that force that he puts into my shoulder. As he pushes me back, I kind of step back with it. I'm just gonna bring my knee on top of his shin and then swivel my foot to the inside. Now from here, you see my feet are close together. And whether you're kickboxing or doing jiu-jitsu or wrestling, it's gonna be a common concept. You never want your feet to be too close together for too long, okay? So as I swivel that foot in, I'm immediately shuffling my other foot wide. Okay, so the footwork there, I'm going from my headquarters position. Charles pushes me out with his knee shield. I step in, step out, swivel, foot inside, shuffle, step out. So I get this nice wide base. I'm pinning Charles's hip to the mat with my knee, and I glue this leg to my thigh by extending my tricep. And I don't want to fight tricep against quadricep here, okay? I'm gonna use my body to move so that my arm goes straight. Now once I get my arm straight, I'm gonna use my body to turn back into that, okay? So that's how we're getting in to this 2 feet inside the guard position. And that's just one way that we're gonna get there. There are several different ways to get there. For instance, if Charles is on his back, here's another way that really commonly happens. Like Charles will get a grip on my collar, right? And we just said we don't want to get lifted here. But man, you know, nobody goes to a jiu-jitsu tournament to lose. And no, just because we don't want to be lifted doesn't mean that we're not going to be lifted. So Charles lifts me here, right? I want to plant my hand right by his head and then use my hip on top of this shin to get a little bit of control of the situation. And as I do, when I lift my foot, I'm pulling my heel right to my rear end and then I want to loop my heel over and then fall right back into this position and get control of the grip. Okay, so again, we're here. Charles lifts, boom, hand to the mat. Grip comes up and over, inside. I pin this thing down. I'm getting control of this collar grip, and we're back here. And even if Charles keeps this collar grip, if I have my grips, I'm locked in. I feel very secure once I get both feet inside the guard. All right, so we're just gonna keep going from this 2 feet inside the guard passing scheme. Again, I get this collar grip. I'm pressuring the hip with my knee, pulling tight on the collar grip, and I'm controlling his posture, right? But I'm also, when I'm pulling my elbow to my knee, I'm creating a wall so that Charles isn't able to bring his thigh back in, and now we're like in a closed guard situation. So I'm creating this wall so that Charles can't get his leg back in, and now I'm jamming this hip open from here. Now, a really common thing that our opponents are gonna wanna do here is to frame on our shoulder, and now they're gonna try to start scooting that hip away from us, right? So as that happens, we could just let this knee come down to the mat, and my leg is acting like a staple right here. So I kind of have Charles's leg stapled to the mat. I still have this really good grip on his collar, and I'm still on my foot on this other side, and I still have this leg locked out here. So from here, as Charles goes to shrimp, from here I'm gonna pivot on my knee and swivel this foot to the outside as I back step. Okay, now from here, I'm gonna be on my feet and active as I'm pulling this leg down and jumping over to come to a better passing position, looking to get these 3 points for the pass. So again, we're in this 2 feet inside the guard position. We're pressuring the hip with our shin. We got the collar grip, elbow connected to the knee. We got the pants grip locked out over here. Charles goes to frame on my shoulder. He's trying to shrimp. My knee goes down. I pivot and back step. And notice, I'm on my feet here, okay? So I'm active. And I keep backing up as I pull this leg down and then run back or jump back over to the other side. Pressure in and start looking at taking the back or advancing from there. So when we get into this 2-on-1 position, right, we got a lot of options here. And right away, if I can, and this is what's gonna happen when I beat Charles in this frame, or in this, this is what's gonna happen when I beat Charles to this battle for distance. I wanna minimize the distance here and get as close and as tight to Charles as I can. And Charles wants to create the distance, right, and keep me out of his personal space so he can shrimp and hip escape and create distance and eventually get back to his feet and get back into the fight, okay? So from here, let's say, you know, I just entered back into my 2 feet inside the guard position, and then right away, I want to scoop right by Charles' head. I'm going for a cross-face grip. When I get this grip, I want to open palm straight down Charles' spine. I want to go as far down his spine as I can get with that open palm. And now from here, I don't want to grip anything. I don't want to grip the gi. If it's really ideal for no gi that you practice this way. But the added benefit of having no grips right here, right, when I go deep on the spine, I can put this shoulder pressure into Charles and my hand is flat. Whereas if I had made a grip there, now I'm putting all this shoulder pressure onto my knuckles as they're being bent into the ground. And it's just not an effective way to have your hand there. It's painful. You can probably hurt your knuckles. So when we get in tight here, we're coming back to our 2 feet inside the guard position. Boom, cross face right away, deep. Want this hand flat on the back. Now from here, I want to give this shoulder pressure. And again, I can negative step out to the back. And this time, because I have all this shoulder pressure, I'm in a better position. I want to stay on this side, okay? So notice I have this grip on this pants. Now I'm gonna switch to the same grip on the opposite pants, and it's not so important where I get this grip. I can get the grip on top, I can get the grip on bottom. The main thing is when I go for this exchange, that it's quick, okay? Now, the reason we want this bottom side pants grip is because from here, as we go and negative out, our opponent is gonna be wanting to re-guard. So they're looking to use that bottom side foot to grab onto us or to put their knee in and start getting distance and taking pressure off of this cross face grip, okay? Because once we get our hand flat on that spine and we're putting the shoulder into their jaw, it's super uncomfortable. They're gonna wanna alleviate that pressure as soon as possible. We get in, we get that cross face grip, start putting a little shoulder pressure down, negative to the back side, switch the grips to the pants. Now I got a lot of shoulder pressure in the toes right now. But as you start reaching with his foot to move guard, I want to get a stiff arm with this one. So as soon as I establish my grip, I'm going stiff arm. Because the elbow is locked out. Now from here again, I'm going to use my legs and run in onto that grip. Then I can go underhook on this side, underhook on this side. Now look at getting my points for the pass. So we're still in this 2-on-1 position. Got my grips, got the arm locked out, and I got my wall built on this side. As soon as we get into this position, right away we want to be scooping for the head, and then we want to take our hand flat to the spine, okay? And once I get my hand flat to the spine, I want to drive in and get a bunch of pressure with my shoulder into Charles' jaw. Now from here, I'm going to keep this side pinned. I'm going to negative step out to the back. And notice we're keeping a lot of pressure on the jaw right here. This is an important detail. I don't want Charles to be able to look back towards me. I got to keep his head turned away from me. Right away to my grip exchange and locking my elbow. And then running right back into that grip that I have on the pants. I'm going to go underhook, underhook. And now I can start looking at completing the cross. We're going to continue with this concept, right? Passing from the 2 feet inside the guard. I get my grips, come back over the top, and find this position right away. So another way that we can pass here is going to be based off this reaction where Charles starts to post on my shoulder. He's starting to develop these frames, right? I'm going to keep my grips just as they are. And from here, this backside foot is going to move. I'm going to take my knee and keep my thigh tight against Charles, but I'm just bringing my knee inside Charles here. Now once I get this pressure with this foot, I'm stepping to the outside. I can get my underhook over here. Start looking for either an underhook or an overhook on this side. And now from here, it's just going to be a knee cut pass. So I force my knee across his thigh, hip drops in front of his thigh, and I run those legs back. Okay, so again, we're gonna work to this 2 feet inside the guard position, elbow and knee connection, arm is locked out, and we're starting from here. Okay, so Charles starts to push me out. He's wanting to get out of this situation. I'm just gonna kind of lift my hips and bring my knee in front of Charles' thigh, on top of the thigh. Now from here, my other foot steps out. I'm gonna right away go for my underhook. And I go for the underhook or the overhook on this side. Now we're just going to complete our knee cut pass and get our points for the pass. Okay, so we're going to get to this 2 feet inside the guard position. Boom. And now from here, I get this wall developed. Charles starts to push off on my shoulder right here. This time I'm going to bring my knee inside, and now I want to kind of force Charles into a split. I'm going to take both of my knees to the mat, and I'm just forcing into this guard position. So from here, we're working right back into our 2 feet inside this open guard. Now from here, Charles posts on my shoulder, starts creating that distance. I'm going to lift my hips and bring my knee over the top of this hip. Then right away, I want to collapse this space, get my underhooks on the arms, and then force this mount. So coming into our 2 feet inside the guard position, Charles starts to frame. I'm gonna lift my hips, bring my knee inside. I got both knees on the inside of Charles's thighs. I'm gonna drive forward and try to get under hooks on these arms as I'm taking my mount.
Thanks for watching our video. Go subscribe to our channel, like our videos, comment, let us know what you want to see. If you're a part of the family, thanks for watching. If you've never been here before, come on by anytime. Check out our website for our schedule, our Facebook and our Instagram. Os.